Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in the last video we worked on the structural model and we ended up with this nice looking building, but there's actually one thing that I left out, which is the foundation. So that's what we're going to be covering in today's video. To get started, let's go to the north elevation and we're going to add in one additional level, which is going to be the foundation level. So go to structure, go to level and draw the new level, name it foundation level, like that, and it's going to be at a depth of 1200 mm from the ground level. So mine would be negative 1.2, like that. Yours would probably be negative 1200, but it's fine. Yeah, it's the same thing. You would notice that our columns actually start from the ground level, right? The ground floor level, instead of them starting from the foundation level. So we're going to change that. So let's go to our ground floor, select one instance of column 1. We had two, column 1 and column 2. So I'll select one instance of column 1 and select an instance of column 2, like that. And I just right click, select all instances visible in view, and every column has been selected, and I'll change the base level over here from ground floor to foundation level, like that. So if we go to our 3D view, you see that now the columns are below this ground floor slab. You would see it in the north elevation as well. All right, now the next thing we are going to be doing is creating a view for our foundation level. To do that, we'll go to view over here, go to plan views, select structural plan, and we see foundation level over here. So we just click on OK and it's been added. Next thing is we are going to import the DWG for the foundation level. So I go to insert, go to import card, like this. Then we are looking for this foundation level DWG. So I select it, click on open, and it's been imported nicely. So you see that I have quite a number of different base types. I have B1, B2, B3. Okay, so I also have a B4 here. All of these actually had different dimensions, so the width, the length, and even the thickness. But for simplicity's sake, we are just going to stick with one thickness, and it's just the width and the breadth, the width and the length that are going to vary. Then we'll also look at this special type, and we are also going to add these foundation beams. All right, so just to verify the sizes that I use, I'm going to be opening my file, go to my column base details. Now I see here, so we have 500, 450, 500. So most of them are actually 500 mm thick with 100 mm blinding layer. So I'll go back to my drawing here, foundation level. We're going to start drawing these column bases. So go to structure, and if we go to foundation, you see that we have 3 base types. So you have the isolated footing, you have the wall footing, slab footing. Isolated, so your normal footing like this one. You have the wall footing, so if you had some walls that reach the foundation level, you'd use this. Then a slab, so this is actually for wrapped foundations. Anyway, so let's measure the size of B1. So B1 is 1700 and 3000 over here. So I go back to structure, isolated, right, and we have this default base type. I'm going to edit it and duplicate. I'll just name this one B1 to match what I did. We're going to change the thickness to 500, change the width to 1700, change the length to 3000. Now it doesn't really matter if you interchange these values, because you could always just rotate the base. So apply, and I can draw it. I don't have a perfect reference point, so I'll just draw it first and use my align or move tools. So I use align like that. I'll use align here too, like that. Let's go to the north elevation, and yeah, see that the base has been added nicely. So back to foundation level, we are going to check for other instances of B1. So I see another one here, so I can use the copy tool, select a reference point, just click here again. Is there okay? So there are also two other B1s here. I can just paste this for now, select it, press spacebar to rotate it, then I use the move tool with MV, select a reference point, and I align it like that so that everything snaps nicely. Then I can copy this one to the other side like that. Okay, so now we have B2, B3, and the B4. For B2, I'll select isolated, but first we need to measure. So B2 is 1700 by 1700. So isolated, edit type, duplicate, name this one B2, change the length to 1700 and apply. And okay, it plays the first one, it plays the second one. Alright, we have some other B2s here. Let's see. Okay, there's no proper alignment, so I place it, then I use the align tool. I can copy this, place it here as well. Let's look at B3. B3, 1900, 1900. So I can edit the B2. No, it will be best to go to structure, isolated, edit type, duplicate, make a B3, 1900, 1900, like that. And I try to place it. It needs to be aligned. So I use AL, click here, click there like that. Then I copy to this point. Alright. So we have our B1s, our B2s, and our B3s. The next thing is B4 over here. Now, by default, if you were to check the isolated footing types, you realize that there is nothing that fits this particular shape. So the best thing would be for us to draw it ourselves. Yeah. And just like how we did when we're drawing the copying for the architectural model, where we go to structure, we go to component over here. So make sure you're in structure so that this footing is recognized as a structural component. So structure, component, then you model in place like this, and scroll till you see structural foundation so that it's recognized as a structural foundation. Click on OK. I can name this B4 like that. And we have various ways of creating the base, right? But we're going to use the extrusion like that. Now, before we actually draw the extrusion, it's best that we set our work plane, and we want the work plane to be the foundation level. By default, it's going to be the foundation level, but it's good to check, right? So with this set to foundation level, we can set where the extrusion is going to end. Now, we know the extrusion is going to be a distance of 500 mm, but because this value is positive, right? If I was to key in 500 here, it would go up by 500 from the from the foundation level, which isn't what we want. We want it to go down by 500 from the foundation level. So you make this value negative like that. And we can now simply pick the lines. So I use this pick lines command and click. Remember, we don't have to have overlapping or duplicate lines. So after drawing the first few lines, I can use a trim extend command. So TR, click here, so they are connected. If you can't really see what I'm doing, I'll turn off my thin lines. So click here, do the same here too. Like that, and we have a perfect shape. So I just click on finish and finish again, like that. So you see that we have this new B4. I'll turn thin lines on again. Can go to a 3D view. Let's rotate. Yes, so that we have this base over here. So you can just duplicate this. I'll use the mirror tool. So I can use this one, mirror pick axis, use axis 5, and it's been mirrored to the other side. So now we have all of our column bases placed nicely. Next thing would be to place these foundation beams. Now I know that my foundation beams are actually 500 mm, right, from the top of these foundation bases. So the offset is 500. What I can do, so I don't have to draw I don't have to add in a whole new level just for the foundation beams, is to first draw the beams, and they are 300 by 150 mm. So I go to structure, go to beam, and I can add a new type. So duplicate and maybe name it foundation beam, like that, 300 by 150, and everything remains the same. So I make sure all of these are what I want. Can just draw the beam first. Don't worry, I know, yeah, it seems like the beams are supposed to be at the level 500 mm above, so I should have changed the offset value or the justification right before I started drawing. But if I was to do that, depending on the view settings of the foundation plan, the beams would disappear as soon as I drew them. So I'd rather draw them first. Once everything has been done properly, I can simply select all and move them at the same time. This is just so that I can see that all of the beams have been placed. So I draw this one too. All right. So now we have all of our foundation beams. If we were to go to our 3D view, you see that, yeah, they are right above the column bases, which is what we want. So go back to my foundation level. I can select one, right click, and go to select all instances visible in view, like that, and change the Z offset value to 500. So it's going to go above. And yeah, you see that right after doing that, all of the beams disappeared from this view. So imagine if I had done that from the onset, I wouldn't have been able to keep track of the beams that I was drawing and the beams that I probably forgot to draw. Yeah, if you go to our 3D view, you see that we have our beams here. Now, one cool thing about foundations in Revit is if you draw your column before you draw the foundation base, so you draw the base right below the column, if I was to change the base level of this column, the foundation would also move with it. So I could put an offset of let's say 500 here, and I would get this warning that the attached structural foundation would be moved to the bottom of the column. So I go to OK, and yeah, you see now it's moved. So I could change this to a negative value, negative 2000, and same warning. You see the base moves with it. But anyway, that would bring us to the end of this video. So this is how you add in your structural foundation components. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. So in the next video, we're going to be looking at a basic introduction to quantities in Revit. So I'll see you.